Hello and welcome back to another video. So I have the 390 and the bucket inside in the reseed field. I'm going to pick a few stones in here. I have the mulcher on the back because, to be honest, I couldn't be bothered taking it off and putting it back on again. So it's just coming with me. So this is the reseed that has kind of broken my heart a little bit, but things are a lot better. I'm in the worst of it here now because this is where I want to pick the stones from. So you can see we have a couple of patches. The plan for today is to pick as many stones as I can off this section and put out some seed because we have some mixed weather now at the moment, and hopefully we can fill in those gaps a bit. But in fairness, the place I was most worried about is actually not too bad at all. Couple of patches all right, but nothing major like I thought it would be. And you'll see, hopefully behind me, pretty much everything is dying off. There's still a few thistles. I think they're just new thistles coming up. They're so annoying. But the ones that got the spray have been knocked back. All the red shank is dying. As you can see, the docks are gone. It's just those thistles are still a problem, but I might go around again and spot spray them to try and get rid of them. But other than that, the stuff has died off well and the grass has come on really well in its place. You can see the yellow tinge on the thistles there, which is good to see. I went around the last day and just got any ones that didn't look like they had gotten spray and just cut them down just in case they'd flower. This is where the worst of them were, but hopefully you can see there behind me, a lot of them are actually dying off now. Some are just yellow, but some are dying off. But the only thing with those is I think they're the ones that I went around and spot sprayed with the Roundup. I'm not sure if they're the Pro Clova or not. Maybe it's a mixture of both, I'm not sure. But they are definitely after taking a hit anyway. But yeah, they're awful to look at. But other than that, we are pretty good in here. I can't believe the difference. I mean, anybody who saw that last video of this reseed will know it was in a fairly shocking state. But this is what it looks like now. Much better. I did the pull test on the grass the last day to see if we're nearly ready for a few cattle to come in here and graze it off, but the roots came. Now, one section was fine and then I pulled another section and the roots came when I pulled it. So it's not ready for grazing yet, because if I pull it and the roots come, that's exactly what a cow does. They pull the grass from the ground. So if I let them in here now, they just pull all the roots of the grass out and we'd have plenty of bare patches around the place. So look, we'll give it another couple of weeks. But today, yeah, I'll try and pick these stones and get the seed in. And then I think when we get a bit of dry weather again, a few days, which I think is coming next week, I might go around and spot spray some more of those bloody thistles that I hate so much. Now that's another job done. I mean, it's not the whole field done, but it's the worst patches, and it just frees it up now so that I can throw a bit of seed on it and let it be doing its thing for a few weeks before we get anyone in there. But yeah, thankfully Rob came and helped me with it anyway, so it made the job a bit easier. Do you know, as I'm driving out now, I'm over the grass, so I'm seeing more stones, but I'm just going to look ahead now and not look down. So I'm just going to drop the stones down to a neighbour's because he wants them. Yeah, I'm just dropping the stones down to a neighbour's because he wants to fill up a drain type thing in front of a house. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. The mulcher on the back doesn't make it overly easy, but sure, I'll be able to dump them some way anyway. So that's it for there. As I said, I'll throw the seed out in it, and the guys should be here to agitate the slurry then, and might get a few shots of that. Well, I'm out after work this evening and I'm just up here with the cattle. I just wanted to check how they've gotten on with the grazing. You'll see here where I'm walking, they've fed really well, but for some reason they just don't want that bottom corner. It was the same the first time they came in here. To be honest, it was the same before we even reseeded here. There's something about that corner, it's just not as tasty or whatever. But I want them to eat it so that it comes back better and it's not getting stronger. I'm half thinking, will I just bring up the mulcher and just do 2 or 3 runs, and it might come back nicer and sweeter for them then the next time they're in there, just to do that corner there, not the whole lot. But you can see here, this place bared down to nothing. Whatever it is about that little patch there. I always say when I come up, they spend all their time looking at the mountains here. But they're perfectly content there anyway this evening, so they're not going anywhere. I might move them then tomorrow. I am just going into where we cut the silage. Exactly 1 week today. And we got the slurry out then 4 days ago on it. Look at the growth in a week. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but the grass is blowing in the wind. It is incredible, the growth in this reseed. Absolutely amazing. So I assume we'll have those guys in here grazing in 2 weeks. And now on my way down, we're into the next phase of our plans, and we have started the next bit of reseeding. Here we go. So this is another 2 acres that was ploughed today. Some amount of stones in it. I'm very surprised by the amount of stones, actually. I didn't expect there to be so many. Look at this beaut here. I'll have to manage that with the bucket, myself and Rob. I might be able to scoop under it and he might just be able to roll it in some bit then. But yeah, there is an awful lot of stones. So I've just finished picking a few stones in one field and I'll be on to the next one. And yeah, look, as usual, we're about to get a heat wave just as we reseed. So yeah, everyone can thank me again for this fine weather we're getting, because we decided to do the reseed and the heat decided to come back. But hopefully it won't be as bad as the last one, or the drought won't be as bad as the last one anyway. I'm not sure when they're going to come back to Harrow. I must go down and talk to Dad. But hopefully it won't be tomorrow, because I'm off the following day, and it might be nice to just get a small bit of footage. I know you've seen a fair bit of the reseeding side of things now at this stage this year, but I might just put in a couple of clips anyway, because it's something a little different to the day-to-day, even though you have seen it before. But yeah, that's it in here anyway. God, there's so many roots from those trees, I suppose. Yeah, that's it up here anyway. I am going to head down there now in a while, and I'm going to show you my plans for the cattle below and the grazing down there, and you can see what you think. Now, the plan for down here this evening is to top this, sorry, the neighbour's dog, top this first section. So this is where I topped already, and they have fed that down really nicely. Here you can see the difference. They just don't want it, but I'm going to just mulch it there anyway. Job done. So this is the first of 3 sections that I've done. So I did this whole field, I did the other side there as well. These guys made it very difficult for me. I did fly around it in fairness, but I would have been a lot quicker if I didn't have to stop a couple of times for them. The Angus bullock thought it would be a good idea to try and fight the tractor at one stage. So yeah, they slowed me down a bit. And then another thing that slowed me down a small bit is I missed a couple of ragwort, more than a couple of ragwort. So if ever I'm doing something like this, I'll always walk around the day before and pull as much ragwort as I see, because I'm not going to take the chance of topping it or mulching it, because it then becomes more palatable for the cattle. They can eat it and it can poison them. So I'm sure 1 or 2 won't do them any harm, but I'm not willing to do that experiment. So I pick everything. So I spotted a few while I was in the tractor, and I had to just get out and pull them. But yeah, they weren't up here for 2 days and they won't leave the place now. So look, we'll see. They might mop up a little bit that's there, because there was definitely, maybe not so much on this side, but on the other side there was definitely a bit of grass there. So I'd be as happy now if they did. Did I give you a fright? I came around the side of the tractor and gave the heifer a heart attack. But yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to go up now and see if I can get rid of that big stone up in the place that was ploughed, and I'm actually going to run down with the electric battery fence for here, and then I'm done. I may have taken half the field with me, but I'm actually quite happy that I managed to do that on my own. It did cross my mind to try and push the rock in, and then I said, no, what are you doing, Karen? You're not going to be able. But yeah, I'll dump that below now, and I am done for the night. Going to be a small bit breezy, I think, so I'll be quick, but he's done a good job here with the power harrow anyway, and he's gone off to get the leveler, and he'll do that today. I don't know if he'll do any more than that. He has to go get lime and things, so it might be tomorrow or the day after, but no major rush when the weather is like this. Rain next week though, so could we actually have timed a reseed well? The forecast will probably change. But anyway, I'm just here in the middle of the field now, and I don't think this camera will pick up the change in level, but there was an old ditch just running straight across the field there behind me, so he'll have a little bit of a job leveling that, I'd say, but he's very confident that he'll be able to do it anyway. So this is why this field is called the self-feed. Dad was telling me yesterday. So there was a ditch the whole way across there, and when they first came back from England, I don't think they had the sheds for putting them in winter, so they used to leave them out, and it was all kind of furze and things in the ditch, so they used to put the hay up on the ditch onto the furze, and the cattle would pull the hay off it. It was just a way of preventing them from trampling on it, I suppose. So that's why we call this field the self-feed, because that ditch was their self-feed. But yeah, I'm just going to go up and mulch that corner that I was talking about at the start of this video as well, and see if they'll eat anything there. If they don't want it, they don't want it. It can be rotting back into the ground, and I'm sure it'll be all the better for it the next time they're in there, but sure, we might chance them with a bit of it anyway. Now, so I just mulched this bit of a corner. Oh, I see a heifer coming down to see what's going on, so maybe she'll pick away at a bit. But it'll be interesting to see if they're interested in it at all now, or when they come on to the next rotation in here, will they like it more than they did that time? I don't know what's wrong with it, but we will see. It did the job anyway. That mulcher is getting a good run out these last couple of days, because I was already below this morning as well. I was out early to try and beat the heat, which I did not do because I'm just not made for this heat. And I mulched the next part that I wanted to, so now tomorrow I'll mulch the last bit of that, leave them there for one more day, and we'll move them on to the next place. Maybe the reseed will be ready for them. I'll have a look at it today. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'd say there was a fair bit going on. I'm not going to wait for Donny to come back with the leveler and stuff, because I just have a few bits and pieces that I'd like to get done today. But in the next video I can show you the end result. Hello. And see what you think, but it's shaping up to be nice already. Yeah, so I will leave this video there. Before I forget though, I do want to say hello to the people I met at the Clonmel show. Met lots of lovely people there, as I always do when I go to these shows. But it was a while ago now, but I already had my silage video made by the time I went there. But yeah, especially to the young boys and girls that I met there and got photos with, it was lovely and it was great to meet you, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as the other ones. But yeah, for now, if you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.